Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going right now. I've been driving around for 2 hours just looking at water I don't like. It's too shallow, it's too mucky. I just want to see some stuff and hopefully I can get out on some decent looking water. I'm gonna try, I don't know, just keep moving until I find something I feel is really awesome. So I'm just out here looking for largemouths. If I come by some smallmouth water, I'll definitely try. I've consolidated my gear and I'm ready to go try to catch some fish from the bank. No. Let's go fishing. So when I start my retrieve with the chatterbait, spinnerbait, inline spinner, anything with a blade, I like to give it this sweeping motion that you see me do. There's a couple reasons for that. The biggest one being that it just gets that blade started, get it moving a little bit. As soon as you do that, then it's good to go. I also like to do that though, because if a fish is looking at it on the initial drop and just trying to decide what to do with the situation, that little sweep, that will trigger strikes sometimes. And I'm talking in general too. I mean, if you're using an inline spinner for trout, that's kind of what started me doing it, was little creeks with lots of trout in them. You cast to a juicy looking spot, and the second you twitch, that's when that fish will hit. So I've applied that to bass fishing, anything bladed. For the most part, this bank is pretty featureless. Plenty of rocks, plenty of habitat, plenty of fish probably, but it's all flyover country to me because I just don't know what I need to be focusing on. So I've come to this tree. I'm cast around the tree a little bit. Fish on, fish on. Yeah. One thing I hate about, oh, it's big. It's not small, it might be a smallmouth too. One thing I hate about chatterbaits is you never feel the bite. I never feel the bite. Maybe I need nicer gear. Oh, it's a big largemouth, 2-3 pounder. Yeah, that's a nice largemouth. It's freaking out right now. Taking line. Man, they fight hard here. So yeah, bit the chatterbait. I was trying to explain that I was searching for something different. And so I casted by that tree while I was explaining that. And he hit. This is a nice fish. This is 3.5 pounds probably. Big old mouth on it. Big old mouth on it. How, man. So I took line and stuff. I didn't film it well because I was too focused on the fish, trying not to lose it. I think I'm gonna land this one. But this is a big, big fish. Got it. Yeah, oh yeah, that's a big fish. Oh, a lot bigger than I said. And you know, it's funny, I got this fish on a banjo minnow, a chatterbait tipped with a banjo minnow. And I don't know if you remember banjo minnows, but man, those things are a hoax. But I used the banjo minnow because I figured the chatterbait would give it some action. And man, this fish is big. That's a 5 pounder. I've been spending most of the day just looking for this fish, not even casting at all, just driving around. I get here, you know, it's not the best backdrop. There's people, there's a freeway, but I cast out a chatterbait tipped with a banjo minnow of all things, and yeah, this is what I caught. Let's weigh this fish and get it back in the water. 5 pounds, 3 ounces. It barely fits in the screen. I've actually had success with that exact chatterbait, with that exact banjo minnow in the past, so I wasn't scared to throw it. Woo! One thing I failed to point out about that fish was it was very actively spawning. It was getting ready to release its eggs. You could tell by how beat up its tail was and stuff. There's a chance I'll cast over there and catch the male of that pair. Let's see what happens. This wind is making it a challenge, but fish, oh, I just got hit right there. With all this wind and the state that fish was in, you know, spawning state. Ooh, I saw a big carp jump. I just didn't feel that bite at all. Oh, that was crazy. Oh, no way. Oh, there are fish right here. This is crazy. I don't know if you could see that, but a fish the same size as the one I just caught came out of the water for that. Well, this is ridiculous. 3 casts, 3 bites. That last one, I really hope I got on film, but you can see my rod is snagged. You can see my chatterbait floating. And I draped that tree and a fish came suicidally careening out of the water to eat the chatterbait. It got it, it felt my hooks. But when I set the hook, he was gone, which is probably for the best because now I might have a chance at actually catching that fish instead of breaking it off in a tree. I put on top water just to see if we get an explosion on film. Yeah, when a fish hits that aggressively, it's often true that they won't bite again. But when they hit that aggressively, it's also true that they're aggressive. Right there. I'm just gonna let it sit for a second. It's possible the fish will just eat it. Man, that was crazy. Yep, he's after it. Oh yeah. Oh, nice fish. Okay, so I'm actually fairly confident I could catch another huge bass. It's just that time of year. It's freaking lunar Sunday. There's some wind on the water and they're hitting moving baits and they're just active. However, I'm coming back from Idaho. I was visiting my brother for his birthday. And I'm way out here, I'm like 4 hours away from home. And I'm not trying to get greedy. All I wanted to know is, can I catch a big fish out of this particular body of water? And the answer is yes. But I only bring 2 spinning rods because spinning rods are more versatile. Banjo minnows work great as trailers for chatterbaits because they don't have their own action, but the chatterbait gives it some action. I literally spent most of this time driving, most of this time hiking, and hardly any of it actually catching fish, or casting for that matter. I wasn't fishing for that matter. You know what, it worked out. I caught the 1 fish and I'm not trying to get greedy, and let's call it a day.